Very political person, but I do have beliefs, I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so
you need to completely drop whatever you are doing right now. Turn your volume all the way up, lock your doors, and prepare yourself for the absolute most explosive locker room drama we have ever seen. What we are looking at today is not just a standard coaching decision or a bad play call. It is a full-blown, undeniable internet meltdown surrounding what fans are calling the single biggest alleged coaching betrayal in the history of the WNBA. For the entire 2026 season, the Indiana Fever front office has been desperately trying to feed us a carefully manufactured, perfect PR narrative. They want us to believe that head coach Stephanie White is completely in sync with her superstar point guard. They want us to look at the standings and just smile. But the truth, the absolute undeniable truth that the mainstream media is completely terrified to dive into. Rumors are absolutely swirling that the only reason the Fever are surviving right now is because Caitlin Clark is allegedly playing through active, premeditated institutional sabotage. The locker room is reportedly completely fractured, and the alleged truth is finally spilling out. Sophie Cunningham, the ultimate enforcer and the fierce veteran presence on this roster, is rumored to have completely snapped. Internet sleuths and insider leaks are suggesting that she just completely exposed Stephanie White's coaching agenda. And if that wasn't enough to completely break the internet, NBA legend Mychal Thompson just hopped on a viral interview and revealed the absolutely sickening, alleged real reason why the Fever coaching staff secretly resents Caitlin Clark. Do not skip a single second of this video, buddy. We are pulling the rumors, analyzing the viral film breakdowns, and diving into the massive web of speculation surrounding Stephanie White. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and let's dive directly into this absolute...
The Indiana Fever do not want Caitlin Clark.
Well, that's what I'm hearing, from all the contacts we have around the basketball world. You hear that, and you watch the Fever play. I watch every game. I've watched every game of Caitlin since she was a sophomore at Iowa. So I've known about her for a long time, been a big fan of hers, probably the biggest fan of hers outside of her family, because I love the way she played the game. And from watching the Fever, it just looks like they don't want the Caitlin Clark that we fell in love with at Iowa. The Caitlin Clark that used to play with daring and with bravado, coming down and pulling up with logo threes on the break, playing with that kind of confidence. But I don't see that Caitlin anymore, so I don't even know if the Fever want that Caitlin Clark to play for them. They seem to want more of a benign, more of a pedestrian point guard. So I don't think her style fits the way they're using her. So it looks to me like they prefer to have...
To really grasp the sheer magnitude of this unprecedented internet scandal, we have to go straight to the tape that fans have been obsessively breaking down online. Let's look at the Fever's most recent heartbreaking, down-to-the-wire losses. The mainstream media immediately loves to point the finger at Caitlin Clark the second she misses a shot or turns the ball over. But buddy, if you actually watch the viral film breakdowns that are exploding all over social media right now, fans are pointing out exactly how Stephanie White is allegedly setting her rookie superstar up for failure. Instead of taking responsibility for the absolute collapse in crucial moments, commentators and fans are accusing Coach White of going directly to post-game press conferences and subtly deflecting blame. Critics are absolutely furious, claiming she completely deflects from her own terrible clock management and blames the losses on defensive lapses or opponent runs. But here is the absolute bombshell theory that the viral film breakdowns are exposing. During these critical fourth-quarter stretches, fans are completely convinced that Stephanie White is intentionally freezing Caitlin Clark out of the offense. They are pointing to consecutive, methodical, slow-paced plays designed entirely for other players, allegedly taking the ball out of the hands of the most lethal playmaker on the planet on purpose. According to the wildest internet rumors, this wasn't a mistake. Speculation is running rampant that this is a calculated plot by Coach White to prove a point. Fans believe she wants to establish her absolute authority over the locker room. They claim she wants to prove she can win without relying purely on Clark's chaotic genius. And when her allegedly ego-driven game plan backfires, the internet claims she coldly points the finger back at her superstar. Fans are calling it absolute coaching malpractice.
I know we don't really want to hear her talk, but let's dissect it. Bear with her for a second. Bear with us for a second.
You know, for me, I look at that 15-0 run in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter and the 7-0 run the first however many minutes of the third quarter. That's the gist of it. I look at our 22 turnovers. They gave him 18 points.
So her 22 she said how much?
Minutes of the second quarter and the 7-0 run the first however many minutes of the third quarter. That's the gist of it. I look at our 22 turnovers. They gave him 18 points.
Our 22 turnovers that gave him 18 points. This girl literally can't even read. Because guys, if you guys look at the stat sheet, it quite literally says 21 turnovers for the Indiana Fever that gave the Las Vegas Aces 18 points. And if you look at the denominator, the 22 number, guess what? That's the Indiana Fever's points off turnovers. So enlighten me, Stephanie White. How are you blaming points off turnovers for the reason of all of this when the Fever quite literally not only negated that, not only kept it neutral, but actually it was positive. The Fever were positive in points off turnovers.
Allegedly thought she could control the narrative. Fans believe she completely underestimated the unbreakable sisterhood of the Fever locker room. She forgot that Caitlin Clark has fierce enforcers, and Sophie Cunningham absolutely does not play political games. Following these devastating losses and tense press conferences, wild, unconfirmed insider reports are leaking all over social media that Sophie Cunningham initiated a complete locker room revolt. She reportedly confronted Coach White directly behind closed doors, completely exposing the alleged premeditated sabotage in front of the entire coaching staff. Cunningham knows exactly what her role is on this team. Fans believe she is there for protection, and Sophie is allegedly delivering. Rumors suggest she aggressively shut down any coaching staff attempt to blame the point guard for late-game collapses. According to the internet whispers, she pointed out that you absolutely do not take the ball out of the hands of a generational talent during a massive opponent run just to satisfy a coach's bruised ego. The internet is absolutely on fire with claims that Sophie Cunningham completely stood her ground, exposing the fact that critical late-game plays were allegedly drawn up to completely bypass Clark when the game was on the line. While the PR managers are desperately trying to keep a lid on this, Cunningham is reportedly completely torching the coaching staff's fragile, toxic narrative behind the scenes. The fans are absolutely furious. They are demanding total accountability, and they are begging for the truth to be fully revealed. If you thought the rumors of Sophie Cunningham exposing the locker room were bad, prepare yourself for the absolute kill shot. The internet completely short-circuited when NBA legend Mychal Thompson hopped on a viral new interview with Jason Whitlock and dropped a massive, undeniable truth bomb regarding this entire alleged conspiracy. Mychal Thompson absolutely set the internet ablaze with his take on Stephanie White's coaching methods. He revealed what fans are calling the raw, undeniable truth. He claimed the Fever coaching staff secretly resents Caitlin Clark because they are completely terrified of her unchecked power and massive
everything she needs from the get-go if this were a business. And the other thing, and I don't want to drag you into my hot water, but I don't know, have you watched closely, but so they have Bree Hall, Raven Johnson, Aaliyah Boston, and Tyisha Harris. These are all former South Carolina Don Staley players. This would be like if the Lakers drafted Magic and surrounded him with Bobby Knight's players and had 4 or 5 guys from Bobby Knight's system on the team. That wouldn't make sense. And so this is where I go, like, they haven't been professional. They haven't executed a strategy of like, hey, we're doing what's best for business, and what's best for business is for Caitlin Clark to be leading the Showtime Fever. I just don't, I think they have no choice but to trade Caitlin Clark. And I think they're trying to put Caitlin Clark in a position where she demands the trade, which kind of lets them off the hook. It wasn't our idea. We wanted this to work. And Caitlin Clark and her father need to give them what they want.
Allegedly exposed the idea that the old-school coaching staff is deeply jealous of the blinding media spotlight and the unprecedented financial impact Clark has brought to the league. He pointed out that the coaching staff grew up in an era where rookies were forced into total institutional compliance. They were expected to wait their turn. But Caitlin Clark bypassed the entire hierarchy and became the face of the franchise from day one. According to Thompson's viral interview, Stephanie White is intentionally running restrictive offensive sets designed to limit Clark's chaotic Logo 3 playstyle because she is desperately trying to maintain an illusion of control. Fans are echoing his claims, saying the coach wants the credit for the team's success. But she knows that the entire global audience is only tuning in for the undisputed superstar. According to these massive viral rumors, the coaching staff is systematically attempting to limit her freedom, but they are failing spectacularly.
Personal animus among them by fighting and fussing with them. Silence would serve her better than fussing with them.
Yeah, I guess you have a point there, but I like when players speak up for themselves if they feel like they're getting abused and not getting the calls. The guys have complained all the time, men and women, throughout the course of history of basketball. So no, I don't think she complains too much. I don't. I'm watching the games and I'm saying to myself, that's a foul. That's a foul. Call it. She's being grabbed. She's being clutched. And like I said, the coaching staff, Stephanie White, should take a few tacticals for her to protect her player. And I don't see the coach speaking up enough to protect her superstar. So I'm all for Caitlin speaking up for herself.
I totally agree with you there. And the other place where I think Stephanie White and that coaching staff hang her out to dry is on defense. I mean, what they were doing initially, switching 1 through 5, that seems intentional to me. That like they wanted to put Caitlin Clark in a bad position, and they did it. And because I think it's exaggerated. She's not the greatest defensive player, and sometimes her effort on the defensive end, sometimes occasionally she can lose focus and it can be lacking. But she's not a horrendous defensive player. I think they've had a horrendous defensive scheme that any 6-foot guard, in whether NBA or WNBA, that has to switch 1 through 5 is going to get put in a bad position.
No, I don't agree with you there, Jason. She's bad on defense. She's got to get better. I mean, like, come on, Caitlin, move your feet. She gets beat off the dribble. She gets out of position. She reaches and picks up silly fouls. You're the franchise player. You can't be picking up 3 fouls in the first half. So I don't blame Stephanie White for her defense at all. As a player, you have to take individual pride and responsibility and be willing to defend, move your feet and figure it out. So she definitely needs to improve defensively, because even I'm watching the game, she said, come on, Caitlin, you can't get beat off the dribble that easily. So that's not Stephanie White's fault. That's hers. She has to, as much pride as she takes in shooting drills, I'm sure, working on a shot, you also have to take that same type of pride and focus on learning how to play defense too, and how to move your feet and get in position so you won't pick up silly fouls. So that's all on her.
Luke, do me a favor, grab the Draymond Green clip where he was talking about James Harden and how they were hanging him out to dry defensively. Get in my ear when we have it. Mychal, Draymond Green last week made comments, or 2 weeks ago made comments about,
we are witnessing the absolute biggest rumored coaching crisis in the history of professional sports. If these internet leaks and viral breakdowns hold any truth, Stephanie White thought she could manipulate the system and get away with it. But she just got completely called out by the fans, allegedly confronted by Sophie Cunningham, and absolutely put on blast by Mychal Thompson. The fans are waking up, the viral clips are everywhere, and the reckoning is absolutely here. Hit that like button right now if you are standing with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Absolutely smash that subscribe button so you never miss a single explosive update on this massive Indiana Fever internet drama, and share this video everywhere. We are going to keep tracking these rumors until the absolute truth comes out. See you in the next one, buddy.